Hi everyone, I'm Marissa Santora of In Our Shoes, and today I want to talk to you about a topic that just came up in our most recent career breakthrough course, the Own Your Authority Deep Dive. And the topic was on listening. It seems that in business, and maybe even in life, speaking is often considered more valued than listening. So speaking is considered more valued than listening. And if you're one of those people that are really good listeners, really good observers of the process, if you're one of those people that when they start a new role, a new position, or enter a room, they have to observe first before they actually engage, no shame or blame in that. I'm actually one of those people as well. But there is something to be learned from that, because it seems as a society, speaking and being outspoken are more valued than listening. And so today I want to talk to you about the other side of that coin, which is listening. So let's first talk. I'm a communications coach, right? In terms of career leadership, you have to be able to speak your mind, right? Speaking without apology is one of the key topics that we discuss here. And, the benefits of speaking as opposed to listening is that it is active. It keeps you in movement, right? It keeps people active and listening and engaged. So speaking is important. It could also mobilize people, right? Pull people together. It establishes a sense of priority, a sense of urgency. So those are the key things with speaking. But what about listening? And can listening be just as important? Well, let me give you three examples where listening is just as valuable and where you may not be really giving it the relevance that it deserves in your career. And even more importantly, you may not be celebrating and receiving the abundance from listening, and recognizing that, you know what, you're still processing information. Maybe it's not as active as speaking, and maybe it's not as cut and dry as speaking, because it's more passive, but it is very much relevant. So I'm going to give you three scenarios which may apply to you. I guarantee at least one area where listening is key to your life and plays a very powerful role, and in terms of gutsy leadership, owning your authority. The first example, the first work scenario or business scenario, life scenario, is when you receive compliments. Compliments are energy. Compliments are gifts. They are so undervalued. People sweep them to the side. I want you to think about the last time you received a compliment, whether it be from business or personal. And I want you to ask yourself, if we're being honest, it's just you and me right now, did you embrace that compliment? Did you absorb it? Were you a sponge? Or did you take it? Did you maybe not quite process it, right? And then say the obligatory thank you and then walk away, right? Oftentimes compliments don't hit home, right? We don't embrace them until days later, maybe even weeks later, months later, right? We sort of think it through. Compliments are a key area where listening is so important, because at the time when we're hearing the compliment, we're not owning the compliment. And that's okay. Most of us do it. However, it doesn't matter when it happens, right? It doesn't matter when you exactly own that compliment, but it will hit you, right? You will process it, and you will process it because you are listening and really thinking it through. Why did I receive that gift? Why did I receive that compliment? And then, you know what? You say to yourself, yeah, you know what? I did own that. I did deserve that compliment. So that's one area where you are listening, you are processing, you are receiving, right? Just like a radio antenna. The second place where you are listening, and more common day to day, is when a decision needs to be made and you are being tasked for your input, maybe even to make that decision, right? Whether you are in a leadership role or not, you're being called on for some sort of feedback, input, maybe to make that decision. And a lot of times we feel like we have to speak and we have to respond right away, which really isn't the case, right? Give yourself permission to take a step back and say the words, you know what, let me think it through. Let me get back to you, right? A lot of times we feel like, especially in this instant gratification society, right? We have to respond right away, right? In 2 seconds, less than 2 seconds if we're talking about any mobile device. But listening is really key when you are tasked to do something, make a decision, asked for your input. This is such a key and normal day-to-day scenario, right? So give yourself permission to listen, process, and then get back to someone, right? There's no rule book where you have to answer on the spot. And a lot of times when we do that and we're not, going with our gut and giving ourselves 2 seconds, we often regret what we say. And then speaking is not as valued, right? Because we're just swinging it. We're just throwing something out there just to fill the gap, just to fill the pause in the conversation. So another key area where listening is so key. And then the third place where you will often hear listening is so important is when it comes to your clients, right? And you don't have to be a sales leader to have clients, right? Everybody has clients. Your managers, your clients, your peers, your clients, your team, your department, your business partners, everybody's your client. And, you know, if you want your clients to become your raving fans, which is really all, you know, your quest in life is, if you believe you have clients, right, to serve, to support them, if you want them to become your raving fans, then the best gift you can give them, the best thing you can do is listen, right? You have to stop the talking and just listen. Listen to what life is in their neck of the woods. Listen to their pain points. Listen to their problems. Listen to what it's like to be in their shoes, right? Before you speak, before you offer a solution. And again, going back to the second example, let me think it through and get back to you with a solution, right? So all of that requires listening, and yet it's not as prioritized. So I hope that you enjoyed listening to this little quick gutsy leadership strategy. If you feel like you are more of a listener than a speaker, or maybe 50-50, it doesn't matter where you are in the scale really, but be aware of where you are listening, where you are speaking, and where you need to listen more, and give yourself permission to take that sacred space and honor that, because that's your gut listening, your gut instinct, your intuition, which never steers you wrong. All right, I'm Marissa Santoro, founder of In Our Shoes, empowering professionals to lead with their gut, lead with their intuition, clearly communicate as leaders of influence. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.